In several regions of India and Pakistan, bricks are not produced by modern machinery but by human labor trapped in a debt-based forced labor system. They are not figures from a distant past, but real individuals who are alive and enduring severe suffering. Ironically, their existence is rarely highlighted because their workplaces are located far from public attention, in areas overwhelmed by extreme poverty. There, the value of human life seems lower than the clay they mold. This industry stands upon a system of debt bondage passed down through generations, entrapping men, women, and children in an endless cycle. This chain of bondage often begins in impoverished villages afflicted by food crises. When a family faces vulnerability, such as a sick child or urgent marriage expenses, a labor broker known as a tekadar appears. He offers quick financial assistance without complicated requirements through an advance payment system. However, this money is not harmless aid, it marks the beginning of debt entrapment. Once the money is accepted, the family becomes bound by an unwritten agreement. They are then transported to brick kilns that may be hundreds of miles away, sometimes crossing regional borders without official documentation. Upon arrival, their personal identities are reduced to production numbers. The initial debt, which may seem small, around $167, rapidly increases due to excessive interest rates that often violate the law. Workers' illiteracy is exploited, allowing debts to be recorded unilaterally without transparency. Laborers are never informed of their remaining balance, while weekly wages barely cover basic necessities. As a result, the debt accumulates year after year and is passed on to the next generation. Children born into this environment automatically inherit their parents' financial burden. Time appears to stand still within the kiln compounds. Work begins before dawn, when the furnaces are already burning. In Pakistan, temperatures around the kilns can exceed 1,000 degrees Celsius. This work demands immense physical strength. Men dig and process clay, while women and children mold raw bricks under the scorching sun. The daily target is typically 1,000 bricks per family, achievable only by working 14 to 16 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. Under such conditions, illness is not an option. If one family member is unable to work, others must compensate. In some locations, supervisors or hired thugs are employed to prevent workers from resisting or escaping. Their living quarters are far from adequate, cramped huts built from broken bricks, housing 5 to 8 people without access to clean water or proper sanitation. Constant exposure to clay and contaminated water leads to skin diseases, while smoke from low-quality coal, burning tires, and plastic threatens their respiratory systems. Escape is nearly impossible. The system functions as both an economic and psychological prison. Threats of violence serve as a primary deterrent. Factory owners often withhold identity documents or hold family members as leverage. The term brick mafia is not merely symbolic. Workers who attempt to flee frequently face severe punishment as a warning to others. Furthermore, wages are deliberately kept low so workers cannot save enough to start a new life elsewhere. Hunger forces them to borrow again from employers, prolonging the debt cycle. Many workers are migrants who experience social isolation and stigma associated with lower castes. The most tragic impact falls upon children. In Pakistan, an estimated 2 million children work in this sector. They assist their parents to meet production targets and increase income. Education becomes an unattainable luxury. Data shows that about 62% of children in Pakistan's brick kilns have never been enrolled in school, and only 12% attend regularly. Prolonged exposure to harsh working conditions results in serious health problems, from severe malnutrition to respiratory illnesses, with child mortality rates exceeding the national average. a similar situation exists in India. Children account for roughly 1/3 of the population at kiln sites, and between 65 to 80% of those aged 5 to 14 are directly involved in brick production. They work an average of 7 to 9 hours per day, often longer during the summer. Beyond physical harm, the psychological burden is profound. They grow up in an atmosphere of intimidation, witnessing violence against their parents, and lacking opportunities for normal play or social interaction. This environment instills the belief that life is solely about working to repay debts they never incurred. The piece rate wage system encourages child involvement. Each additional pair of hands increases production, which is believed to accelerate debt repayment or at least secure better access to food. Without education, however, these children risk becoming adult laborers trapped in the same system. In India, there are approximately 125,000 brick kilns employing between 10 to 23 million workers, most of whom live in extreme poverty. Women also play a significant role, comprising about 30 to 50% of the workforce. Nevertheless, they are often not officially recognized as workers and are considered merely helpers to male heads of households. Consequently, they lack legal protection and access to healthcare services. Many women return to heavy labor just 10 to 15 days after childbirth or cesarean surgery, despite medical recommendations advising at least 6 weeks of rest. In Pakistan, the brick industry is a vital component of national development, involving around 10 million people directly or indirectly. However, this large scale also reflects the extensive practice of debt bondage. The country faces a housing shortage of approximately 10 million units, prompting thousands of kilns to operate under weak legal oversight. Although the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act has been in force since 1992, its implementation is often ineffective. District-level monitoring committees frequently fail to function properly or even side with kiln owners. For brick kiln workers, the law remains merely written text that never truly shields them from the heat of the furnaces and the harsh system that confines their lives.